Hey, everybody. It's great to be back with you at the Passion for Patients podcast. And as we move throughout the end of 2025, we wanted to share with you some of the best artificial intelligence, I like to call it augmented intelligence tools that are really helping us to do our work more effectively at GAAP. And so I asked Kristen to sit in today. Kristen, as you know, is the VP of Education and does such a great job in leading at GAAP. And I asked her to come alongside me so we could talk more about the way that AI is really helping us to work more efficiently and effectively at GAAP. So hopefully you'll get some tips today as well.
And I know I will too. This is a great conversation to have. It's hard to keep up with everything that's happening. As the community knows, we did a podcast. Victor and you had a podcast just in 2024 in the fall. And already now we have new things to say because this is such a rapidly evolving field, right?
Yeah, I feel like every week someone says to me, have you heard about this new AI tool? And I start checking into it. I'm like, oh yeah, we could use this for this, this, and this. So it's really fun. And it also is something that, I think, to be honest, even a year ago when Victor and I sat down about this, I was a little afraid of. I mean, let's be honest, I'm well into my 50s and I think I was intimidated by AI and all the different things. I mean, of course, I knew about ChatGPT, but that was really it that I was doing a year ago. And today, boy,
the list is long, right?
The list is long.
And it seems like when you think about the different pillars that we work in at GAAP, that there are now AI tools that touch each of those. Is that correct in your everyday work?
Absolutely. I mean, so again, the 4 pillars of GAAP: awareness, education, advocacy, and research, right? So that's the driving force and structure behind all that we do. And so there are some really great AI tools for each one of those. And maybe we start with just awareness.
Let's do it.
Okay. So in the awareness space, one of the tools that we have been utilizing more and more is Canva. And you may know Canva because it helps you to create really fun, creative social media assets. But they have this tool called Magic Design that is an AI-driven tool to help really make your Canva resources even more impactful, more efficient and effective. And so I think that is one that if I had to pick the tool in awareness that's making the biggest difference, it would be Magic Design from Canva.
That's amazing. So Canva is very helpful for those of us who are not designers, but want really polished looking materials. And this can help you to take that to the next level, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So let's move on to education.
All right.
So in education, we know that so much of education is based on project management. I mean, you are juggling 1,000,001 balls in your role in education. And some of the tools that we have found that are most effective there are project management tools, right? So at GAAP, we use a tool Monday, right? And that's a very effective one that has some AI built into it, some support. There's also tools like Slack, Asana, ClickUp. All of these are real project management tools that have components of AI that help you drop in quickly. What are the tasks that need to get done on a new project? How can we assign those tasks? How can we monitor those tasks and make the work happen more seamlessly, right? And that, I think a lot of times we think, oh, these project management tools are so expensive or so complex. Most of these tools are free. They've got a free introductory level that help you to manage your projects more effectively. And then if you want an upgraded version, you can get it, but you don't have to have it. So
that's fantastic. And the other thing I want to say, because I used to be intimidated by the project management tools, and I love project management. Earlier versions of these tools were really cumbersome and required a full-time person to manage in order for you to engage with these successfully. That's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think that the ease of use piece of this is what the continued iteration of AI is allowing, right? That it's expediting all that. The other really valuable AI tool that I think we found in education is the chatbot tools, right? And so we are working working on the release that has come out by now, by the time this podcast come out, of an ASMA bot that is curated content. And so using AI tools like a chatbot function with curated content that's credible, that's trustworthy, that's evidence-based, to make sure that the answers you're putting out there from your AI chatbot are reliable. And so we're using this kind of AI tool and really advanced science, what we call large language models, to set, based on the guidelines, how do we respond to these 100 or 200 most frequently asked questions for all the different disease areas that GAAP focuses on. And asthma is just the first. You're going to see this in COPD, in atopic dermatitis, in chronic urticaria, just in the next few months.
That's absolutely fascinating to me that you're able to do it so quickly, and we know the impact this will have because people are looking for credible information and don't know where to find it, right? And I love your point too about using these tools, making sure there's credible information. We have to be good stewards of using these, right? Absolutely. These are a tool, but not everything for us.
Right. And I always say, like, I would never, ever use AI to create new content and then just push it out.
Right.
We would never do that.
Caution,
right?
Caution.
Stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But what we would do is use AI to help us create a first draft.
Yes.
And then go through and edit it, make sure that it's resourced and referenced in a way that is credible, that is trustworthy, and that is at the appropriate health literacy level. So that's another AI tool, right? We've got Grammarly. We've got, what's the tool? I'm trying to think, the Kincaid education.
Reading scale.
Yes. So where you can actually bring that health literacy level down to a more simplistic tone and type of communication.
And those are wonderful. You can find one that works for you where the language, I think, is best for your community. And you can actually just insert what level you want, what grade level you want the reading and the health literacy at. And those can change everything for you.
Yeah. So again, it's really remarkable that we've got that at our fingertips now, that we don't have to pay someone to go in and copy, edit, and create and bring it down and continue to evolve our content.
Yes.
So those are some really great education tools. You want to move to advocacy?
Next up, I'm ready.
All right. So advocacy, as you know, is a lot of engagement with policymakers. And policymakers have a very unique language that they speak. And so this is a way that I've been using ChatGPT, but also a very specific tool that we worked on developing, what we call a trail. And it's a tool called Gretel. And so in COPD, we were actually able to take a large language model to curate that and to create a AI trail that says healthcare decision makers, healthcare policymakers, this is the kind of messaging that resonates with them. So for example, in the World Health Assembly resolution work, I was able to ask Gretel, who are the countries, who are the ministers of health that are more apt to sign on and support the World Health Assembly resolution on lung health. It gave me their name, their contact information, and the key message that aligns between our resolution and their current political stance.
Unbelievable.
And I could immediately draft a communication to that Minister of Health that was tailored, targeted, and get a more positive response from them.
That's right.
Because it was tailored to exactly what they needed.
And that's all based on information that's public. All that data set is pulled from available sources on social media, things like that. Right?
And the key here is that you're working in a curated fashion. So it's not the broad World Wide Web of all things out there. It's a curated type of content. So that's the basis first. The second is that you're asking it the right question.
Very good point.
And that it's in a dialogue fashion that you keep drilling down and drilling down and drilling down. And so I first asked, what countries may be open to supporting the World Health Assembly resolution? And then I asked about that Minister of Health. And then I asked specifically if they had voted our supported efforts in air pollution
Mhm.
or in care coordination or healthcare efforts specifically? What was their stance on budget and
Yes.
new resources? What has been their historical votes for World Health Assembly resolutions? So I took all of that and kept drilling down until I got exactly the message. And I could ask it, what is the message that's going to resonate most readily with the Minister of Health in X country?
Yeah,
And it
tell
gave
you
me the message.
I love what you're saying too about being so mindful of the audience, no matter what pillar we're talking about. That's
Yes.
part of using AI well, right?
Yes.
And another thing you mentioned about being so specific with those prompts, it's really necessary.
Yeah.
It feels silly on the front end, wordsmithing a prompt that way, but it's worth it in the product that you're getting, it sounds like.
It truly is. And I think it also is, sometimes AI responses can sound too generic or too, vanilla,
Formulaic,
right?
yeah.
Formulaic and formal. And so you can even say, like, change the tone of this to be more,
conversational or yes,
conversational, and it will do that. And so I think that it's playing around with the tools and using them consistently that you find your zone of where AI helps you to do your work much more quickly.
Yes,
number one,
absolutely,
and much better. The standard of my communications and interactions in advocacy have taken a whole new level because of this.
That's amazing, Tonya.
Yeah. And so the final area is research, right?
Yep.
And in research, this could be so many different things. Number one, I found out about a tool called Perplexity. Perplexity AI. And this is a tool, and we're going to put all this in the show notes with links so that you know all these various tools by the pillars. But Perplexity takes a look just at peer-reviewed medical literature. So all the journals. And you can ask just in the Perplexity tool specific clinical questions, and it searches just the peer-reviewed medical literature.
Fascinating.
And gives you the answer with the sources.
So this is, now you're not searching abstract by abstract by abstract and doing extensive searches that you learned to do Boolean and the rest of those when we were.
Yes, cool. Yes, and hours on PubMed and all this. Perplexity does that for you and gives you the actual footnoted references of all of that information.
So you can go straight to the source.
Yes. So like for medical writing, for content creation, for wondering, is there a research question that you want answered and you're not sure if it's ever been addressed?
Right.
All of these are the kind of things that I'm using Perplexity for, to say, is this something that we should be investing in? Is this, how do we move forward with this hypothesis that we have or the unanswered questions that we have? How do we create content that is resourced from only that highest scientific level evidence?
That's fantastic. I can see my brain is already working. I can see that being useful in education too, when you're looking to make points with data.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in the data analysis piece, there are tools like Jasper that help to do your data analysis and statistics work much more readily for you. So rather than thinking that you have to hire a data statistician to comb through all the data, you can actually utilize these tools to help you do that more effectively. So again, a lot of great tools in the research pillar as well.
Unbelievable. These are going to be so helpful to me, and I'm sure to everybody watching. Let's move on, if you don't mind, to tips using these so that we can leverage these best.
Yeah.
Now that you've been using them, tell us what works.
Yeah. So first, maybe I just share before that. I want to share a couple of the things that are my favorites just in like the everyday work.
Oh, please.
Because we talked about the 4 pillars, but I didn't share, I use AI for every single meeting that I have now. And it is a tool called Otter.
Otter, O-T-T-E-R.
O-T-T-E-R, Otter.ai. And Otter listens in to every meeting that is on my calendar and then provides me with a brief summary and key next steps or action items as a follow-up. So I never have to take a note again.
a game changer. And this is very helpful for all of us, those of you who are watching, listening too, who are everywhere, meetings everywhere, right? Yeah. Can't be in two places at once.
Yeah.
So it produces that for you and sends it to you.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And even if perhaps I miss a meeting that the group that the team is on, I'll still get the Otter note. So they can share the notes. If you've got like a group meeting that someone is going to be absent from, it's a great way to share the meeting that they missed and the key action items coming out of that. So it is free. There's a free version that we use at GAAP and that most of us are in the background. You'll often see now our Otter note taker also on all of our calls. The other AI tool that has just revolutionized my life this year is using Gemini. So Gemini is Google's AI tool, but using Gemini specifically for travel.
Yes.
So we all know about, searching Google and getting all the different flights options and all of that. But Gemini AI, actually, you can go to it and say, I want to create a 3-day itinerary in Geneva, Switzerland on these dates. What's the best available hotel within my price range? What's the best restaurant that has this type of food? What are the must-see sites of any space, of any place? So Gemini I can do a full, give me a 3-day itinerary.
Like this.
Yes.
Yes, I've used it too.
And it comes so quickly. The cheapest flights, with the best times, the best hotels, with they check all the reviews, the best restaurants.
When we would have spent hours doing this before. Hours.
And so for someone who travels as much as we do, this is a game changer.
Absolutely.
It really is a game changer.
I agree with you completely. And I was so surprised the first time I did it when it gave me the itinerary and I sort of said, well, let's see if this is accurate. And then I went to check the reviews and everything was perfect.
Yes.
And it was probably, less than a second or two before it was done.
Yeah. I mean, in 5 minutes, I have planned a 6-week trip.
That's phenomenal.
Which is nuts because it would have taken me hours
and
hours.
Yes. And all this Googling.
So it's just really remarkable, that tool in the way that it's changing day to day. The other thing that I'll say, so GAAP doesn't do a lot of fundraising and individual donor type of work, but I've heard from a lot of our members that is a tool that they need and that they don't have a dedicated resource for. So I wanted to share a couple of fundraising tools. One is called Donor Search AI. Very valuable tool in helping to create donor communications, track donors, find the things that matter most to them, and reinforce with those gifts, how it's making a difference and how they can continue to support your organization, doing fundraiser kills and things like that. There's also one called Grant Assistant, an AI tool called Grant Assistant. It helps you to identify what grants match most readily your mission, your geographic area.
Very nice.
And what are the timelines for the grant submissions? What are the tenets and the must-have qualifications to win those grants? And it can actually help you craft your proposals for those grants. So think about this. If you don't have a grant writer and you're out there and you're thinking I will never be able to apply for those. This is a tool that can help you very readily upskill your grant submission. So Grant Assistant AI tool. So those are some of my favorites that really have changed my life in just the last few months.
I was going to say probably just a few weeks, and there'll be something different coming down the pike. Do you want to share any tips?
So let's go back to the tips and tricks of using AI. I'll reinforce some of what I said before, but I think first of all, that it is a source that you trust, right? That you don't just take it at face value. You don't just go to ChatGPT and say, write a letter to the Minister of Health for me, right? I mean, that's not going to work. You need to drill these things down in very specific ways with the best prompts, with dialogue fashion. Setting the tone, setting your desired outcome. I mean, telling the tool exactly what you want to achieve.
Very specific.
In that communication. And if you do that, it will match you. The output will match the input. So the more time you spend on your input, the better your output in using your AI tools. So curated content, best of best prompts, always double check the work, never just hit send after copying and pasting something from an AI tool. So definitely spend a few minutes and check the work. Even like on the travel, to be honest, I'm like, if I'm going, I'm going to at least click to the link.
That's right.
Double check, make sure that it's what I think it is up front.
Those minutes spent double checking, that's still much less than you would have done for any of the tasks that you just mentioned.
Yeah. So I think that's the key here. And just being open. Like, I've started putting, signing up for like newsletters on new AI tools, putting out Google alerts on new AI tools for nonprofits or for NGOs, like just keeping yourself aware of what's coming, and know that just because it maybe wasn't the right tool for you 6 months ago, that it could be today, because they are completely iterating and improving. They've got these continuous feedback loops for all of these tools that are making them better and better and better.
And more useful to us, right?
Yeah. And we don't have to be afraid of AI. I think that's my final kind of message to everybody is like, don't go Tonya retro 2024 of like, I'm not using that. But embrace this and realize that it truly is very powerful in helping you do the work that you do more efficiently and effectively. With caution, using appropriately, never leaving your brain at the door. You need to continue to make sure that it's your voice, that it's your message, that it's set in the way that's consistent with the mission and the work that you're doing.
And making sure, because I learned this pretty recently, that some of these tools are more geared towards certain regions of the world, right? We know that. So going into it, making sure that you do a little bit of that research to make sure that wherever you are globally, because we know GAAP is on 6 continents, that this is an appropriate tool for you and your particular disease state and the people you serve.
That's right. And again, and a lot of times I think once you find the right tool and you're using the right prompts in those very specific ways, creating that dialogue, especially in large language models, the more tailored the response becomes, and the more that you can trust that tool.
Yes.
And it becomes like a trusted friend sitting next to you rather than the fear or the enemy
that we had in 2024.
And what I can tell you is it's never going to replace us, because number one, AI doesn't have a heart, right? It doesn't have the emotion and the heart that each of us connects with every day in the work we're doing. So don't ever feel like it's a threat or it's going to take your place, because that's not going to happen. The work that you do, the heart that you do it with, the motive that you do it with, the passion that is the passion for patients in all the work we do, but especially in this podcast, you're never going to be replaced. So embrace it, and don't lose sight of what's most important in using these tools.
I don't think there's any better way to end this conversation. That, the passion that we have is something that we can then, use this as a complementary tool with, right?
Yeah.
It's just only going to help us to do our work. But I love that message of, using it wisely, and you will never be replaced.
Never. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We hope that you found at least 1 or 2 golden nuggets and new AI tools to help you be more efficient and effective in your work as patient advocates. And until the next time, stay passionate.